Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics. We got a really great show today. I'm Gill sitting in for J.V. Haney, who's still recuperating from his hip surgery. We'll have championship basketball talk and 5 and 6A state championship coaches. We'll have baseball coaches coming in. We'll have track coaches coming in. And overall, the show will be fantastic because we have a new corporate partner, Dustin Jaggers, who works for Stormwater Quality. Come right back as we start Inside Tulsa Athletics. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. We have one of our special guests today, one of our sponsors who worked with our run this year, Dustin Jaggers. And Dustin works with the Stormwater Quality here in Tulsa. Tell us about what Stormwater Quality does.
Well, it's a department with the city of Tulsa, and we do public education on our storm drain pollution and watershed pollution. So we have 3 departments. We have the scientific techs who go out and monitor the streams, and they take samples, they look at the fish, and they find out what the water quality is of that watershed. And then the compliance and enforcement, they go out, and if a builder is building new construction, we make sure that they are following all the practices they need to ensure none of that runs off into the storm drains and into our creeks and streams. And last is me. I do public education. I like to look for events like this run, classrooms, businesses, homeowners organizations, and just share with them what we do, what we're about, and how they can better help the community by not polluting our creeks and streams.
Well, we're really excited about our partnership because I think we can reach a lot of kids through this program, and I think it was one of those really good finds for you and a good find for us to be in there. What's the water quality in and around Tulsa County?
Well, there are 30 creeks and streams. So we, throughout the year, we go throughout Tulsa and check those creeks and streams, and many of them are good. We have a permit through the Department of Environmental Quality through the state of Oklahoma that allows us to distribute that stormwater from our creeks and streams into the Arkansas River. So we have to make sure that the water that we're distributing into it is under a certain level. And for the most part, the city looks really good. There are a few areas of concern, but again, when those things rise, we go and see what the primary problem is, and we make sure that we fix it.
I see. So do you have a lot of incidences where people are pouring things down into the stormwater drainage and so on that shouldn't? Or?
There are a few cases of people probably not doing what they should, but our main concern again is education, because the truth is, I don't think everyone knows that if water goes down the street and into a storm drain, it goes directly to a creek or stream. So if we can let them know that, I think they're automatically going to think, okay, what am I doing that could affect wildlife, fish, and that water quality? So again, just providing them with the information is our main concern.
That's great. How willing or accepting when you go into the classroom are the students?
They're good, depending on their age and grade. That definitely affects. Elementary kids like me and think I'm funny. When you get into middle school and high school, it's a bit more of a struggle, but nonetheless, they're usually very respectful.
I see. Well, we look forward to having a good relationship with you. And what are some of the things that we can do as a school system that would help you do your job?
Just help us have the opportunity to give this information to students and families. One of the reasons we like to reach students is they're very influential. They will remember what you tell them, and they'll commit to it. So one of the things I tell children, if you go home and you see your parents not doing something that we've told you, hey, Mom, Dad, guess what I learned today? When we do this, it could hurt the fish. It could hurt the water quality in our creeks and streams. And that will make a big impact over time throughout Tulsa.
So that's a big job when you talk about over 30, you said,
Mm-hmm.
Creeks and streams and everything. And,
Correct.
And all of that goes into the Arkansas River?
Well, either the Arkansas River or Bird Creek. So depending
Creek.
on where you are in Tulsa, it will go to one of those 2 areas.
Oh, big. Well, we look forward to having you come out to our schools and visit with our people.
I look forward to it.
Stay with us. We'll have Greg Nash coming back, talk about Booker T. Washington track.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to tulsarefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. tulsarefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy, and every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to tulsarefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. tulsarefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. We've got Greg Nash, the head boys and girls track coach at Booker T. Washington High School. Greg, welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Thank you, Mr. Cloud.
I tell you, we're glad to have you, and let's tell us a little bit about Booker T. Washington track.
Well, we've had a pretty rough fall here, because of the weather and stuff, getting outside, but it's coming along pretty well, and kids are getting acclimated to the weather and conditions out there, and we're making adjustments and preparing for the outdoor season. We have one meet already. We went to Bartersville last week, and we fared very well over there, and we're going to get ready for this week. We're going to Claremore on Thursday.
Claremore on Thursday. We've got Claremore, and I think we have Glenpool this week too. Have big track meets right before spring break.
Right.
Now, as you get ready to go into spring break, now what does that do to your training?
Well, we're going to set 3 dates over the spring break for the ones that can make it. A lot of kids and families have plans, and we'll run and practice and condition and prepare to get for when we get back from spring break. So some of the kids will be there. You probably have 50% of the kids, and then a lot of them already have family vacations planned, but we'll give them a workout to take with them and see if they can work out wherever they're going, and hopefully they're in pretty decent shape when they return on the 25th or 6th when we come back to school.
Well, who will some of your top performers be this spring?
Boys, we got a young man that ran AAU track, Gentry Williams, ran a 47.7 over the summer, and he's be one of our top athletes in the state of Oklahoma in the 400. He ran well at Bartersville last week, ran 22.6 or so in the 200 over at Bartersville, got second place, and he's a freshman and has done an excellent job. And we got several of those guys that played football out there that's running and competing and getting faster, and I think that's going to make a big difference on our team this year.
What's your numbers like?
Boys, we got about 30 boys.
Boy, that's good.
30 boys out there for track. We got about 30 girls. So we got about 60, 65 in the program.
How's your girls program going to be?
Girls will be young. They'll be pretty good. They showed some bright spots over at Bartersville, had some in the 100. And as, like I said, as the season goes on, we're getting a few basketball girls out there and a few basketball boys, and that's going to help the program.
That's excellent. So as you move into the spring break and you have those 3 dates of workouts, and then you come back, what's your first big meet when you come back?
When we come back, we go to Stillwater. Stillwater has a big invitation over there, I think April the 5th, and we'll run over at Stillwater over there, and we'll run against the West Side schools and to see what they got on the West Side, and that gives us an idea for regionals and preparing and see what we're going to face during the season.
I know it's early, but how are the comparative times east and west now with our kids with the rest of the state?
I think the times are about the same because the conditions have been horrible out there. The weather conditions, with the cold weather and then a little snow out there, a little ice. So I think it's been kind of rough on both sides. As I looked at the meets, a lot of meets have been canceled in the last couple of weeks due to the weather.
Right. Yeah.
So really, I think everybody's only had one meet, and a lot of the basketball schools haven't even run yet. So
exactly, yeah, because the season's just over last
right.
weekend.
And a lot of the basketball kids that run for schools, small schools, big schools, hadn't run in a meet yet. So
will you get any of those kids off the state championship team basketball?
We'll get a couple of boys from boys basketball, and usually we get 5 or 6 girls. And
girls, okay.
They'll be coming out over the spring break. They just finished basketball, and we've already had discussion with the girls, and I think we'll get 5 or 6 girls, and on the boys we'll get 3 or 4 boys at high jump or long jump for us.
That'd be good. That'd be
be
great.
awesome.
Well, pretty exciting. We were talking before we went on the air today about Carver, which is the feeder school to Booker T. Washington.
Yeah.
Has started a track club.
Okay.
Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, that's thanks to you guys and Steve Freebus. You know, we've been pushing for it for the last couple of years. You know, we know it's been a financial situation, you know, with the budgets over the years, and we got it back up running, and we got some parents over there and Principal Seitz and Principal Phillipson are pushing it, and they're very positive about it, and they want to have a positive experience with this, and they're doing good with the parents, and they got a couple of parents, and they got some coaches lined up, and at Booker T they come over and practice, and with Booker T coaches we're kind of just helping out a little bit wherever we can help out and volunteer to help the kids out, because they got good numbers. I mean, the last count I had was over 60.
Oh my goodness.
60 boys and girls, and I think they said they had over 70. So.
And that'll be great for your program in the future. With
Excellent.
Kids
Be just a good feeder, and that's what we got to have. You know, with TPS, you got to have kids feeding into our district and supporting us in our district instead of these outside districts, because they got feeders. You know, a lot of schools that just have one school. It's a little easier to feed.
Well, you know that's going to be our thrust over the next 2 years, is to enhance our junior high programs with more programs.
Right, and you guys are doing a good job, and I know, you know, with the situation we've had in the past, you know, with the budget cuts and stuff, and I know you guys are trying to implement and get things back on track, and we apprget the effort that you guys are doing
we're
at the district level, and I think
every time we give the kids an opportunity to do something, it gets them out of trouble.
Exactly.
It keeps them in school.
And exactly, and that's a big thing. A lot of these kids, you know, they need to be in school, and if you provide them with an opportunity of you know, doing a sport and education and academics, that makes a big difference. I think it's more, they call it more fun for them to be in school. At least they got something to go to, and then they won't get themselves in trouble.
Well, Greg, we're glad you're here today, and stay with us. Stay tuned with us as we come up. We'll be back with Kevin Gordon, the head track coach at East Central High School.
Hi, I'm Tony Dillingham, Athletic Director for Jenks Public Schools. The first annual Oklahoma Athletic Directors Conference is the must-attend event for every Oklahoma high school athletic director. Join us June 10th and 11th at the Cox Convention Center in downtown Oklahoma City. The two-day conference will feature breakout sessions covering law, staff development, fundraising, social media, and many other areas that are sure to improve your effectiveness as a key administrator in your district. The OADC will also be a great place to network with key people in our industry regarding the latest issues and trends in Oklahoma athletics. Conference registration is now open, so visit OklahomaOIAAA.com for conference registration, hotel information, and details about the conference. Don't wait. Make your reservation today.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and we have a special guest today from East Central High School, the head boys track coach and our head football coach, Kevin Gordon. Kevin, welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Let's talk about track.
All right. Well, I tell you, it's that time of year, and the weather hadn't been too bad. We've been able to get our kids out there and work them out. But of course, it is Oklahoma, so you know that. So you always have to have an ulterior plan. But we get inside and run on the days that we can't get out there. But boys track, we're looking good. I've got a young group of kids. I got a returner that made the finals in the 100-meter dash, and DJ Johnson, and now he becomes the man. This is his show. He's got to take over, and he's kind of stepped into that role really well. Natural leader. Got another young man, David Turner, and he's a sophomore. He can really run, and he's one of my starting corners also. So he's stepping up for me. So got quite a few football kids out there. On the distance side, I have Kevin Morales and Rodrigo Olmas, and they're all out there. So Coach Stacy, myself, Coach Wabunsi, you know, and Coach Horterbay, we're working. We're trying to get this thing going in the right direction, getting our numbers back out, and kids are excited. And I love track, and it's a great time of year.
How many student athletes do you have in the track?
Right now, we're going to have about 20 kids total. That's counting sprinters and distance. With basketball season just kind of wrapping up, we're hoping to pull from boys basketball to get some of those kids.
How many
out.
football players do you have?
Ooh, I tried to make all of my football kids run, but you know, I told myself that I don't want to make you do this. I want you to understand why you need to do it. And as a DB, as a linebacker, as a receiver, or a running back, you know, track and football go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
So I got quite a few out. My starters are out. The ones I need out there, I have out there. So that's the good thing about it.
When's have you had a track meet yet?
We went to Bartlesville last Friday, and kids ran well. DJ Johnson had a great meet. We go this Friday. We go out to Glenpool and run on the 15th. So we're looking forward to that. And actually, we picked up one of our basketball kids, and we're looking to possibly be able to run our full relay this Friday. So we're looking forward to it.
Glenpool meets a big meet.
It is. It is. It's going to be about 25 teams out there. So
that's a full day.
We'll be out there all day.
We'll be ready for spring break after that.
Yes, we will. But they have a great hospitality room. So
you always have to have the hospitality room.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this. So you have spring break. What does that do to your training?
I bring the kids in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll come in at our normal time. We'll bring them in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll go to about 3:30 or 4 o'clock. We'll work out those 3 days really heavy. I'll hit them hard because I know that I want to let them enjoy their spring break. So they'll get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. So we're going to get them on that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that we're going to run them really well and tire them out and make them real sore.
So when we come back from spring break, what's your first big meet after that?
We will be going to Okmulgee and running at the Okmulgee Invitational. So we look forward to that, and it'll be quite a few teams out there. And they actually do 2 divisions, so they'll run a small school and a large school. So
I see. Well, so you have that, and then the regional happens at the end of April, right? And then the state meet. How do you look as you move into the regional? You have a lot of qualifiers.
I'm hoping DJ should be top 5 this year in the 100 and the 200. One thing I've done with him is I have him run the 400 early, and he doesn't like the 400, but he stepped up this year, and he showed a lot of maturity. He said, Coach, I can run it. I want to run it. So I'm like, okay, let's go out and run this 400-meter dash. And I'm him in the 100, David Turner in the sprints as well. Markel Brown will be another in the 400. My 4x1, 4x2 should get in. So we're looking we'll see what we can do.
Well, you know, it's difficult, I know, because we do not have junior high track.
Right.
So as far as a feeder is concerned, and one of the things that in our office that we've looked at is that we have this gigantic elementary track meet. You know, we have 40 or 50 schools out of the 60 that participate in the elementary. So we're seriously looking at expanding in the future to have junior high track cross country, which I think will give those kids something to look forward to when they come out of the 6th grade, you know, going into middle school and junior high. So that should help our high school programs.
Most definitely. And I know as coaches, we all would really look forward to that. And what it does is it gives you that base that you need to bring those kids in from the middle school. They step right into your high school program. And so that would be great.
One of the models, Coach, that we've looked at and we used this past year at Edison and Rogers is where we had junior high athletics first hour, so that the varsity coaches could work with those kids during the first hour. We think that's going to be a real benefit in the long run. It has already shown up in attendance and academic preparedness. Those kids come to school because they're already there to practice,
right,
and they'll be there all day long.
Right.
But anyhow, well, thank you for coming and being on Inside Tulsa Athletics. And our next guest will be Rodney Klein, the head baseball coach at Edison High School.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and our special guest, During this segment is the head baseball coach of the Edison Eagles, Rodney Klein. Rodney, welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here.
Looking forward to a good spring season?
We are. It's been very rainy, but we've been working hard outside as much as possible, and we're rolling right now into March. Very
How
busy.
many games have you been able to play?
We're 2-2 in the regular season. Got a few scrimmages in with Bigsby and Holland Hall and a few others. So we're staying busy, but the weather's really been a challenge this year.
Boy, it has been. It's up and down. You know, it's 73 one day and 45 the next, and the rain and everything else. So as you move into this, have you played any district games yet?
We have. We've gotten one in with Collinsville. The other was rained out. And today and yesterday we were supposed to play Will Rogers. Those are both rained out, but they're rescheduled for late April. So they're all going to get played, but it's really a struggle right now.
Boy, it'll be April will be jam-packed. It looks
Yes,
like
sir.
to me,
It
because I think
already is
March
getting that
going
way.
to be something. Well, we got spring break coming up, and traditionally you've gone places, and so what's your plans this spring break?
Traditionally, we've gone to Phoenix the last few years. This year, we're going to stay local, and we're going to go to the Manford tournament and see some 4A and 5A local teams. And so we kind of traded out our Phoenix tournament for Manford, and then also last year we attended the Owasso tournament and saw a lot of quality teams there, but we're going to go to the Coweta Wood Bat tournament this year. So really leveled out our schedule with a lot more 4A, 5A teams this year. And then for next year on spring break, we're looking at Fort Myers in Florida to have a big trip then.
That'll be a great trip. That'll be a great trip for the kids to go. So so far you've got 4 games under your belt, and now we're going to get into the spring break week and everything. Who's been the leaders on the team that you think can make you tournament ready in late April?
We've got 3 solid seniors in our starting lineup. Center fielder Bo Gaston, who also has pitched really well for us, throws strikes and really doesn't give up much. And very proud of him on the mound. And then senior catcher behind the plate, Gabe Watkinson, who also hits 4-hole for us. And he's just been a solid guy, and we're looking for him to keep growing and just get better defensively as the year goes on. And then senior shortstop, Toby Wager, who hits 2-hole for us, and just played a great game. We actually played 2 games in the Sperry tournament last week, and he was really solid going error-free in those 2 games. So those have kind of been our leaders on the field, and then we kind of got a strong junior class with 3 of our top pitchers in that class as well.
It's always tough to be good up the middle. You got to be good
Yes,
up
sir.
the middle, don't you? And,
Yes, sir.
So as you look forward to the rest of the season, when you come back from spring break, what are some big games that you're going to have?
Right into district play again with McAllister, and then we'll catch Durant the following week. So district play really picks up. And then we've got those tournaments I talked about with Coweta coming up as well. So we've got a mix of district play and then our tournament play as well. And so it's pretty exciting. And like I said, we've got a strong junior class. We've got 3 big returning arms, and Christian Clack, lefty, who's throwing 88, 89. And he's getting some offers from some D1 schools. That's pretty exciting. And Scout Huggins, straight out of basketball, pitched a great game against Dewey in the Sperry tournament the other day. He's a great strike thrower. Just, again, a kid who doesn't give up a lot and makes teams earn it. And then Mark Turner, who plays almost wherever we need him. He's kind of a middle infielder, but he's playing some third base, and he's probably thrown the most innings for us this year. So, again, we've got a lot of district play coming up, but we're mixing in tournaments and, you know, good variety, keep our kids fresh and excited about the season.
You know, building a program, which I think you are doing at Edison, takes a lot of people. And I know one of the intricately involved is your booster club.
Yes, sir. And it's led by Mr. Jeff Turner, Mark Turner's father. And he just really takes a hand in so much and helps take a lot off of my plate. And it's his leadership that gets us through so much of the year financially. We have 2 great fundraisers. We do a golf tournament each year in the fall, and we also do a big fundraiser, auction in the fall also. And those are just amazing things, but it takes so much time, not just him, but so many others. But he's had a lot of leadership at Edison. He's also been a part of the football booster club before, and he just really makes things roll, and he helps us get the backing to make our spring break trips and all of our other tournament trips and things for the kids just really special.
Oh, they've done some facility improvements too.
Yes, sir. About 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we spent a lot of time upgrading some things, green screens, a lot of painting, a lot of new items for our indoor as well, L screens and things like that. So the Booster Club has really played a huge part in our success.
One of the things that everybody's concerned about this year is dead period and that thing. And so where do our kids play in the summer?
We have a lot of our upperclassmen who play on various travel teams around Tulsa. You may hear WBO, BBA, and then some of our younger kids play for Prime. So really, we look at June as a lot of more workout time, and then we may, if we have enough 8th and 9th grade participation, we'll enter a summer league of some sort, usually at Preston or one of the local schools around here. But most of our varsity kids and upperclassmen kind of have their own teams they travel on. And so if they're not on that, they're pretty big into our June workouts, and then July, we really kind of cut them loose and let them do their thing. That's when most of their travel team tournaments are. So it really works out, the dead period works out to where there's nothing for me to conflict with their travel teams. Yes.
Well, thanks for coming to be on Inside Tulsa Athletics. And we'll follow up with John Potocnik, the Booker T. Washington head baseball coach, after these messages.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy, and every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and we have our head baseball coach at Booker T. Washington, John Potocnik. And John, you've been there a long time.
Yeah, it's my 21st year, and so it's kind of flown by pretty quick, but it's been a lot of fun so far.
You know, you've started your season, obviously, and the weather's kind of been up and down a little bit. We've had some spring weather, and then we've had some winter weather again. How does that hurt the continuity of getting into a routine?
It's hard for us to get into a rhythm. We were fortunate to get in quite a few of our scrimmages, but we would be able to scrimmage, and then the next 2 or 3 days, we'd be stuck on our indoor. And so it's just hard getting that rhythm of playing every day, and the kids getting in a rhythm at the plate. And so I think once we get into that, we'll be fine.
What's your record like?
We're 2-2. And so 1-1 in districts.
That's what's important, is the district. Now,
Yeah.
Spring break next week, and you got big plans for spring break.
Yeah, we're leaving for a tournament in Pensacola, Florida, and we'll go down there and play 4 or 5 games, and hopefully play all the games and kind of get in a rhythm and bond as a team, and hopefully come back, as a better team.
So when you come back, you'll have district games.
Yes, immediately on Monday and Tuesday with Pryor.
So how do you gauge your pitching through? You get the 4 or 5 games in Florida, and you want to come back and be ready for that district game.
Well, you just have to manage it very delicately. Basically, we'll probably throw our top couple guys on Monday, Tuesday. That way they have plenty of rest for the rest of the week, and they're able to go back and pitch on district games on Monday, Tuesday when we get back.
Who are some of your key people?
We actually only returned 2 starters from last year, and so Bryson Williams, our shortstop and number 1 pitcher, is off to a great start. He's hitting 400 and doing very well on the mound, and then Ramsey Gates, was our DH last year, and he's DH first baseman, and actually he's pitching this year, and he's off to a pretty good start too. And then we're young and inexperienced after that, and so we got a couple part-time starters back, and John DeJarnette's been playing really well in the outfield and stepped up and is hitting pretty well this year.
Well, that's good. The level of competition in 6A obviously steps up. We've been in 6A, 3 years now?
Yeah, but actually we're in 5A this year.
Oh, is that right?
We're on our second deal of 5A, second year of 5A,
right.
and then next year we'll be back to 6A. So we have one more year in 5A, and hopefully we can go out and make some damage, do some damage.
You would hope. You would hope you could, yeah, because that's the level of play and the number of players you have and everything to draw from is. So we got an advantage, obviously, because we have 6A enrollment and playing the 5A.
True. And so, we're trying to go back out and win the district title again and see what happens. And so,
Who's in your district?
Pryor, and they're probably the favorites to win because they return almost every kid they had last year. And so, Coweta, Skytook, Tulsa Hill, and Tahlequah, I think is it. And so, pretty tough. It's very even, I would say. And so, I think we're all chasing Pryor this year.
Well, you look at 5A, and what to me, the essence of 5A is that you have a lot of one-school towns that you play, where it is the most important thing in that community, whatever sport it is. And when you're in a multi-school district in a metropolitan area, it's a little bit different that you draw from.
Yeah, the one school towns, I mean, they basically, they have pretty good crowds and draw a lot of support, and so that's what they do is they play baseball in those towns, and so they have quite a few kids out, and I think Collinsville's got like 59 kids on their program, and so even though they're 5A, they're still very dedicated kids and working hard to achieve the goal, which is to get to the state tournament.
What's one of the things that, how do you work, because we do not have junior high baseball, how does that work with the feeder program?
We don't have a feeder program, so we just have to work with whoever shows up, and we just have to work a little bit harder is kind of how we sell it to the kids, and figure out where they play and what positions they may have played doesn't mean they're going to play that in high school.
Where do our kids play in the summer?
We do have some that play travel ball with different organizations, and then we try to run a summer team and play for the next year's squad, either in the Diamond League or in the Three Rivers League. And so this year, I think we're going to try to, or this summer, we'll try to play in the Diamond League, and since we're moving up to 6A and probably need to play against those teams in the summer.
That level of competition,
yeah.
Yeah. So, dead period have any impact on baseball?
I don't think so. Not unless you're coaching the travel ball or something like that, but it shouldn't impact us, and so our season should be over and we should be good.
Good. Well, thanks for coming today, John, and good luck when you go to Florida. Stay tuned with us now, because we're going to have Mark Dover, who is the head boys soccer coach and the athletic director at the three-time state champion basketball school, Memorial.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education? What are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and our special guest during this segment is a guy who stays awful busy. Our head soccer coach, the director of athletics, and Mark Dover has kind of become the tournament guru for the OSSAA, because we've hosted a lot of tournaments. But Mark, we're glad to have you on Inside Tulsa Athletics, and let's talk about your primary assignment in the spring is the head boys soccer coach.
Yeah, absolutely. We're 3 games into this season. We had a great win week 1 with Claremore. We beat them on penalties, and last week we dropped a couple games. We lost to Webster on penalties, and we lost to East Central, one of the state of Oklahoma's best teams.
You bet. Yeah, East Central's got a great program, and Webster's coming on as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They're really well coached.
Yeah, they've done a good job there. So as you look, we're getting ready for spring break and everything. How does that affect your preparation for the season?
It's a great time to break. When we come back, we start district play. it gives the coaches a little bit of time away from the players. It gives the players a little bit of time away from the coaches. We do give them some time off, but we will also be training over spring break later on in the week just to prepare for our first district game the Tuesday after against Cassia Hall.
So you've had 3 matches, and that sends you into the spring break, and then end of the week you'll practice and get ready for your district. Yeah,
Yep.
That's important. So who are some of your prominent players?
We have several seniors on our team. Our unspoken leader is named Juan Rodriguez. He plays center mid for us. We've got a winger named Daniel Remington. He's a special kid, really athletic. And then we've got a junior captain that plays center mid named George Sanchez, and he's incredible.
Who's the team to beat in your district other than you?
Team to beat in our district, Bishop Kelly is one of them. Edison's always another team that gives us a lot of trouble. And they're really well coached, they're organized, and they're just good teams.
You bet. Well, the Edison, that's the Southside Classic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you bet. That's a big match. So as you look into your district play, who do you play when you come back from spring break?
When we come back, we have Cassia Hall, and then we're playing in the Sapulpa tournament, and we continue with district play the week after that.
So how many tournaments do you go to?
We go to one.
Just one tournament.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
they guarantee you what, 3 games?
They guarantee 3 games.
3 games, yeah, and that prepares you, I guess, for tournament play as you go into the regional and so on.
Yeah, state playoffs, yeah.
So your importance of a feeder program there, how does that work in soccer in Tulsa?
Luckily, our feeder program at Memorial Junior High, they've allowed us to kind of communicate with the kids. I have a decent relationship with the coach there. We try to go out and watch games, just to show support so the kids know who we are as coaches at the high school in case they do want to continue playing whenever they get to Memorial High School.
Well, that's great. And of course you have a good facility to play in.
Absolutely.
Right there at the La Fortune Stadium. Well, let's go into another area, your other area of responsibility being the director of athletics, and the Memorial program is a good athletic program in the city of Tulsa. Obviously, the basketball program has been outstanding. What effect does that have on the school culture as well as the athletic culture, having that much success in basketball?
Well, I think it's really positive. The influence that the program has on our school we don't really talk about it much, but you can. Whenever you reflect upon that, it's definitely prevalent. I think everybody at our school knows who's in the basketball program. They're they're kind of like celebrities, especially whenever they get a lot of playing time, like the Boons or some of our guards. But it's very positive. Whenever they go to a football game, people are around them. Whenever they come to a soccer game, people are hanging out. They definitely bring people out to watch their games, and I think. It's definitely positive for our school.
The Memorial Nation, I guess, clings to that as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had a great showing at state tournament this year.
I thought the student crowds for both Memorial and Booker T were outstanding. I thought our students really showed up, and one of the things that we look forward to is that in winning the 5 and 6A state basketball championships, it shows that you don't have to be a suburban school to be able to be successful.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Our kids fight just as hard, and our coaches coach just as hard, and everything. And the other phase that you get into, it looks like now, is the regional area and state tournaments. And talk a little bit about that. We got about 30 seconds, but
yeah, I've I guess since I've been the athletic director, we've hosted each year some phase of the OSSA postseason. This year we got to host the first round of the state tournament for the 6A girls, and those crowds were incredible. We have the perfect space for that, and it was just a great atmosphere.
We're glad as a member of the OSSA to be able to assist the OSSA. There's a lot of talk among other schools out there that they're not going to help them host anymore. And I said, well, that's okay. We'll take up the slack because we have good facilities that our taxpayers have provided through the bond issues and everything, and we're excited about that. But we appreciate what you do with the OSSA, and I know they do as well. Good luck this spring. I hope you have, and I hope you get the feeling a little bit better.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we're going to have Bobby Allison, who is the head basketball coach at Memorial High School.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy, and every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and we have a really special guest now. Coach Bobby Allison of the three-time state champion Memorial Chargers. Welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics, Bobby.
Gill, thanks for being here. It's a great time of year, and it's time to celebrate a little bit.
Tournament time is always
Yeah.
great. There's nothing like it when you start that regional tournament and then go to the area tournament and then the state tournament. Those 3 weeks are the most exciting weeks in the winter. I don't think there's any question about it. The level of intensity of the players and the coaches and the fans. But let's talk about the atmosphere that we had in the Mabee Center. It was unbelievable, I thought.
It was great. We were fortunate to have 2 days in the Mabee Center, and they were special days that we'll never forget. You know, the teams and the competition, the great coaches and the Division I talent and the pride that teams throughout Oklahoma showed. It really is special, and for Tulsa to be able to bring home the two most prominent championships, being 5A and 6A. It just showed the level of basketball that we've been able to establish in Tulsa Public Schools, and it's a credit to the kids and to the administrations and coaches. But it was a fun day to be a fan of Tulsa basketball.
Let me tell you, and we always talk about this, but you know, in the Green Country Conference, every Tuesday and Friday, it's a war.
No, it is, no doubt. Even in the middle school leagues, you can see it, the pride, the middle school championships, and then when you get into high school, the kids just care about playing ball. They love the game of basketball. The coaches love it. And you couldn't have said it better. Us going against Central earlier this year, there's probably 2,500 people at that game, and it's just, you know, it was a state tournament atmosphere in December. So I think that's a real credit to the competition that we were able to go against this year. We played some great out-of-state teams. Tournament of Champions was, I was talking to Mick the other day, and I think every team in there was in the state tournament, and Kingfisher won it, Booker T won it, Kingston won it, and we won it. So,
yeah.
I mean,
it was great that from 6A down to 4A, we had it covered.
Yeah,
Everywhere. Absolutely.
Everywhere.
And, you know, you also add to that the opportunity to play in the BOK showcase.
Oh, no doubt.
You know, which puts our kids in a different situation when they get to a Mabee Center. They're not in awe of the Mabee Center.
No doubt. Yeah, we were fortunate enough to play in the Mabee Center for TOC, and then the BOK showcase on a Saturday, which championships are played on a Saturday.
Absolutely.
So you kind of get those routines throughout the year where, okay, we're going to get to school at noon, we're going to get our shots in, and it's just, you know, and our kids really know how to play in those environments because of the great venues and games we've been able to play in over the years. So it's, and that's why we play good in big games, I think.
Well, let's talk about your student athletes. Obviously, a wealth of talent over the last 3 or 4 years there, and let's talk about those kids.
Right. Well, this run, and like I said after the game, Memorial's had good players forever. You know, we have a lot of pride, great coaches. But in this run, you could think about so many players in this three-peat. You know, it kind of started with the seniors who lost on a buzzer beater in 2016 and the great leadership they showed and the character they showed and how they handled adversity and how they got us to the championship. And then after we lost that one in 2016 to Carl Albert, everybody in the program has remembered that feeling, and they have done their best in big games to not let that happen, and then also through practice and accountability on and off the court to do their best. So, I mean, over the years, Caleb Nero and Kobe Rose, Isaiah Thomas, and Kalen Childs, what they did at 17 was unbelievable. Shamar Walker's leadership the entire year last year as a point guard that was the only starter coming back, and with Corey Guest and Craig Webb, both playing junior college basketball now. They were able to fill the gaps for 18. And then, you know, everybody knows about Caleb and Keelan and what they've meant to the program as teammates and as talents, and going to OSU next year. But, you know, they couldn't have done it without James Alexandre and Drew Brunson and Julian Cockrell, and the great 2020 class with Kayvon Key and Bray Shawn and Will Hill and B.J. Armstrong coming back. We've been very, very fortunate to have great talent, but also guys that love to win the game of basketball.
So as you look into finishing this year and the three-peat and so on, what does 19 and 20 look like?
Very optimistic, different, and maybe a little. We're going to play with a little more freedom, because when you have the two best seniors in the state and your two-time defending champs, the weight of expectation can kind of hinder your execution. And I think in some instances it did. Obviously you want to have talent, you want to have expectations, because that means you've been winning. But next year, I think we're going to be able to play with something to prove a little more, instead of trying to hold on to something. Like this year, I felt like we were trying to take care of something instead of go get something, and sometimes. So I think there's going to be some moments next year that we're going to have some really fun basketball. We're going to have to gain experience, and obviously with the Boons rebounding and defense, we're going to have to get better with that. But one thing I'm so proud of with Coach Draper Sturdivant and Coach Nate West and Joe Thomas is we have not lost a junior varsity game since 2016, and that's against really good talent. And so whoever's getting ready to put on a Memorial jersey next year has won at all levels. So we're going to know how to win. We're just going to need to fill in the gaps, and we got some great tournaments next year and great competition, and we'll be hopefully playing our best basketball in February and March.
Well, I think the point you made to put on the Memorial jersey means so much.
It does.
To those student athletes, and I think that's key. That's part of the tradition that makes your program what it is. And I think that's a real important thing.
Definitely.
But, well, Bobby, thank you for coming
so much,
to be
Gill.
on Inside Tulsa Athletics today.
Definitely.
And we'll be back in just a moment, and we'll have Conley Phipps, the head basketball coach at Booker T. Washington High School, the 6A state champion, as we wrap up 5 and 6A in Tulsa.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Hi, I'm Tony Dillingham, Athletic Director for Jenks Public Schools. The first annual Oklahoma Athletic Directors Conference is the must-attend event for every Oklahoma high school athletic director. Join us June 10th and 11th at the Cox Convention Center in downtown Oklahoma City. The two-day conference will feature breakout sessions covering law, staff development, fundraising, social media, and many other areas that are sure to improve your effectiveness as a key administrator in your district. The OADC will also be a great place to network with key people in our industry regarding the latest issues and trends in Oklahoma athletics. Conference registration is now open, so visit OklahomaOIAAA.com for conference registration, hotel information, and details about the conference. Don't wait. Make your reservation today.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. And now we're going to honor the Booker T. Washington head basketball coach, the state champions in 6A boys, Conley Phipps. And welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics.
Thanks, Coach. Good to see you.
Good to see you, and great to celebrate another week of championship basketball.
It was a good weekend for Booker T, and that was Booker T's 16th state championship in boys basketball, which is all-time record. So we're proud of that.
We're excited. We had 16 at Booker T. We've got 9 at Memorial and 13 at Central. I'd say we've got a corner on the boys basketball.
And that's a pretty good run right there for Tulsa High School basketball.
It sure is, and we know that every week is a battle in the Green Country, but this year Booker T joined the Frontier Valley Conference. And how's that on Tuesdays and Fridays?
That's pretty rough, Coach. I mean, every Tuesday and Friday, like you said, Green Country's a great league. you know, with us moving up to 6A, we just felt like we need to play 6A in the 6A conference. And, you know, when you're tangling with Jinx and Union and Broken Arrow and Owasso and Barnesville and Muskogee and those people every night, it prepares you for a state tournament run.
What played a role, do you think? Do you think that was one of the key points of preparing you to play at that level?
I mean, I really do, because, I mean, like we just talked about, I mean, you go on the road in the Frontier Valley, even if you're the better team, you better play or you're going to get beat. And, you know, and our guys, it took them a little bit to figure that out, that you got to bring it every night. And I think the tough schedule we played definitely gave us an advantage when the playoffs came around.
Well, let's talk about that. You started off in a regional tournament and were successful there, and in an area tournament, and then you start the state tournament. Let's talk about those 3 games in the state tournament.
Well, Thursday afternoon we had Putnam City West, and who's you know, has a lot of tradition themselves, have a great team, have a great player in Rondell Walker, highly recruited kid, national recruit, and you know, press you all over the floor, and it's a tough game, and we got behind, and guys made a great run, played really well last 4 minutes to win that, and then Friday at noon at the Mabee Center, played kind of a Cinderella team, Southmore, although their players and their coach aren't Cinderella. I mean, they got good coach and good players, and you know, Jalen Breath hit 2 big free throws with 1.7 seconds left to get us in the finals. And then we played a great player and defending 6A state champions, Micah Thomas and Putnam City North, and guys really played well. It was a great game, great crowd. Our fans and our students were unbelievable all 3 days, and you know, we were able to get it done in the end.
I tell you, the intensity at the Mabee Center, it seemed like on Friday and Saturday was as intense as I've seen the state tournament in a few years.
Coach, it was an unbelievable atmosphere, and you know, I was just thinking about walking in here, you know, back there in that tunnel, in that hallway, and you walk through there. A lot of people don't get the opportunity, but you know, you see kids crying because they won. You see kids crying because they lost. You see grown men crying for the same reason. I mean, it's an intense deal. You know, everybody puts in a lot of hard work for a long time to try to get to that point, and you know, hopefully things go your way and you can come out on top. So we feel very fortunate.
Well, let's talk about some of your student athletes. You've got some really good ones.
I'm very lucky. I do have some really good ones. Yes,
that makes good coaches.
That's right. Makes me a lot better coach, no doubt about that.
Well, let's talk about them.
Okay, well, I'm going to start with senior Seth Hurd. Averaged 16 points and 8 rebounds a game this year for us, and was our leader. If it wasn't for his leadership the last 12 games, I don't think we would have got the gold ball. 4-year starter at Booker T, which is hard to do, and just a tremendous young man, tremendous player. And Bryce Thompson, who's a junior, national recruit, great player, going to be a great player at the next level. Averaged 20 points a game, almost 6 assists. You know, makes his teammates better. Trey Phipps, another junior, 18 points a game, almost 4 assists. Played well for us down the stretch. And then I had a couple of 6'8" junior, Jalen Breath, a move in from Westmore, played really good for us, made some big shots and got better as the year went on. And then the other 2 guys, 2 seniors, Mike McHenry, Kriston Driver, 2 very different roles, but played their roles great. You know, Mike's role was to come in and make shots, and he did that many times. And Kriston's role was to come in and do all the stuff nobody else wanted to do, and he was great at that. So, you know, that was basically the makeup of our team this year, and we'll have 3 of those guys back, and we're going to miss those seniors, though. They had a great run.
Well, they did have a great run. You know, as I watched the last month of the season, it looked like to me that Seth Hurd played himself into being a prospect.
He did. He was. He's played himself up a couple levels, as a matter of fact. It'll be interesting. His recruitment's really taken off, and it should. I mean, fantastic the last month of the season. Fantastic.
I thought he was a man among boys.
Yes,
in
no
the
doubt.
paint.
No doubt. Well, the thing is, you know, he's in the gym in the morning. He's improving his free throw shooting. He's working on his game. he's always been a great kid, but he's kind of a quiet kid. But he led us down the stretch, and just it's something. This was my 29th year. If I coach 29 more years, I'll never forget what he did for this team.
Well, I always say that your good players are going to play good. When you get in the playoffs, that player that plays a little bit above where he has been all year is the one that makes the difference in winning the championship.
It makes a huge difference when you have your guys step up, and that's what's expected of Booker T with all the tradition there, and those guys know that, and been very fortunate they embrace that, and they know what's expected, and they don't shy away from it. They want to try to live up to it.
You bet. Well, Conley, thanks for coming with us today and enjoying this, and let's enjoy it for another week and then get back to the gym and start
Sounds
working
good.
again.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you.
Come back right after these messages.
Are you suffering from stuff? Stuff you don't know how to get rid of? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. Learn how to get rid of stuff easily and properly. TulsaRefuse.org. Just give us a click. It's that simple.
Thank you for joining us today for Inside Tulsa Athletics. It's been a great week for Tulsa Public School athletics. Last Saturday was one of those great days when you have a 5A and a 6A state champion in Memorial and Booker T. But Saturday was also a very sad day for Tulsa Public Schools as we lost Tammy Oldtaffer, the athletics director and cross-country and track coach at Central. Tammy had been in Tulsa Public Schools for 27 years as the coach and athletic director and instructor and teacher, taught health and physical education as well as U.S. history. Tammy had a battle with cancer that she could not win. But what an impact on student athletes and students that she had over the years that she was in Tulsa. At one point on Saturday or Friday, when she became very ill, there were over 50 former students that had come in from as far away as San Diego and Miami Beach, Florida, to see Coach A one more time. The kind of impact that a person like that has on student athletes and students in general can never be measured. The kind of people that we have in Tulsa Public Schools, like Tammy Oldtaffer, who actually care about those kids and beyond the track and beyond the field and beyond the gym, they care about how they turn out and how they end up in life. Those are the important things that we want for our coaches and for our kids. So Saturday was a great day. It was wonderful for our student athletes to be able to enjoy those championship trophies, that walk through the Mabee Center to be able to win. But now we need to think about Tammy and her family as Thursday she'll be laid to rest in Pawhuska, her hometown. She was one day away from being 51 years old. We will miss Tammy. She was one of our best athletics directors, always on time, always precise, never a problem. Tammy will enhance heaven as she goes there on Thursday. And we appreciate her time and her effort at East Central High School, at Hale High School, and at Central High School, her last assignment. Rest in peace, Tammy Oldtaffer.